Hi everyone, my name is Gretchen Stanton. I just wanted to say welcome to Chem 101. I'm looking forward to working with you this semester and also looking forward to a great semester. I hope you've had a wonderful and restful break. I just wanted to introduce myself, say hello, and give you some information about the course. And hopefully if you're a little bit nervous about the course, hopefully that brings down some of that anxiety. Um, there is a video that follows that goes over our syllabus, so that way we have a lot more time in class for you to ask whatever questions you have. Feel free to email me any questions you have, or post on our Facebook page any questions you have before the semester starts, and I look forward to meeting you soon. Okay, so here is our class syllabus, and the first thing I want to bring your attention to is the times that we're going to be meeting for lecture, our mandatory problem-solving session, and lab. And one thing you may notice is that we meet in a different room every single time, so it gets a little bit confusing. What I would do is, if you use your calendar in your phone, I use my calendar and I put all my class schedule in there. I would put it in your phone and also put the room number where you need to be, because it does get a little bit confusing. So the next thing I want to bring your attention to is over on the right, we have all of my contact information. So you have my office phone and you have my email. Email is the absolute best way to reach me, and I usually get back to you pretty quickly. So feel free to shoot me an email, whatever questions you have, or you're going to miss class, or anything like that. Just shoot me a quick email. I have my website that has more information and lots of video resources, things like that, so you're welcome to take a look at that. We also have a class Facebook group, so I really encourage you to join that because it allows you to post questions for your classmates and get quick answers to them. I post questions or resources. You're also welcome to post whatever great resources you find. But if you have a Facebook account, I highly encourage you to go ahead and join that. I have my office hours here. I like to call them drop-in hours though, because this is your time to come into my office and ask whatever questions you have. You can come in by yourself, you can come in with a group, we can work through problems together, but bottom line is this is your time and I really want you to utilize them. My office is in the faculty offices, so if you know where the business office is, at the very front of natural sciences, if you swing a right, coming in the front door, you have all of the faculty offices there, and I'm in room 8. If you're not able to make office hours, so I want to make it clear that you always have an opportunity to get help. So if you can't make my office hours, you're welcome to send me an email a few days in advance and we can figure out another time to meet. But you always have the opportunity to meet with me if you need help. I have some other things here that you can read on your own time. So why we're studying chemistry. So why are we spending a whole semester, and for some of you 2 semesters on chemistry/biochemistry. I have my teaching philosophy. I absolutely love what I do. So this is just a little bit more about me and why I teach. And if we go on to the next page, we have some learning outcomes, course description, but the most important thing on this page is going to be what you need for the course. So we have a textbook that's a little bit of an older edition, but it's still a very great one. It's the 4th edition, and I recommend buying it on Amazon. So you could get it in the bookstore, but on Amazon you can get it for sometimes less than $10. So I would get that on Amazon, and you have all of these are links that you can click on to go to the sites. And then we also have an online homework that goes with it. So you could buy the book on Amazon and then just click on Mastering Chemistry, and when you register, you can go ahead and just purchase it separately. You can buy the bundle together in the bookstore, but it's going to cost a little bit more. Okay. This $66, I believe it's 68 or so now, a little bit more. You have our ID that you need to put in when you register for your account, so I can see that you're doing your assignments. Also, you need a non-programmable scientific calculator. So I put a picture of it right here. So I use a TI-83, or TI-30. We don't want to use a TI-83 or 84, so if you have one of those expensive calculators, you can't use it for this course. For your exams and quizzes, go out, get a cheap $10 calculator. That's what you need for the course. All right, we have some of our lessons. I do a lot of video resources like this one that are through TED Ed. So if you're looking at this, you're already you've done that part. You've already signed up for a TED Ed account. All of our other TED Ed lessons for this semester are going to be optional, but it really helps you coming into the lecture really have an idea of what we're working on, and it helps you utilize your class time so much more. So I highly recommend, I'll show you where you get to all of these different video resources, but look at those on your own, and really, it will help you come into class prepared. For lab, we have a new laboratory manual. So if you know someone who had a lab manual from a few years ago, you can't use that one because it has been changed quite a bit. So make sure you get the newest edition. It's about $45. You also need safety goggles, and you want the ones that have the full side shields, the ones that look like this. So if they look big and uncomfortable, chances are you have the right one. Okay. There are other ones that look more like glasses. Those ones you cannot use. You need the full out ones with the side shields. You also need to wear closed-toed shoes. You're welcome to bring a lab coat or apron if you want to. It shouldn't be necessary, but that's up to you. We'll go over more about lab safety on the first day, but you also want to make sure you have long pants, you're covered up, since we're going to be working with chemicals this semester. Okay, so I have a little bit about grading here. You can look at the pie chart and see what the breakdown is, but I have a little bit more about each section here. We do startup assignments in my class, so it's a combination of reading the book and answering some kind of pre-lecture questions to get you ready for the lesson. These are very, very important. So my lectures are slightly flipped, meaning that you do some of the learning at home and we continue the learning in lecture, and it allows us to go into more in-depth discussions. It allows us to work more problems together. So as a class, the better prepared you come in, the more we're able to utilize our time in class. So these startup assignments are very important. And you can read how they'll be graded here. And I'll show you an example of what one looks like. Example of a startup assignment, our first one. It gives you first some learning outcomes. So these are the things that I want you to be able to do by the time we've completed that lesson. So a good way to study for exams is to go through these learning outcomes. People always ask me, well, what's going to be on the exam? This is exactly what's going to be on the exam. So I would go through and check off each learning outcome before exams to make sure you feel comfortable with that material. So these are, again, going to be done before we learn about that topic in lecture. And below you have some problems or some questions to answer. And these are to be done before you come to class. So they'll be due at the beginning of lecture or lab. And you want to make sure you put some time and effort into it. Really go through your book. For a lot of them, you even have the page number, but you want to complete these assignments because it will reflect how well we're utilizing our class time. So all of these are going to be found in Canvas that I'll show you in a moment. This is going to be our equivalent of Blackboard, but all of these will be found under Files, and it will say Startup Assignments. So we mentioned that all the materials are available on Canvas, including our startup assignments, and here's what Canvas looks like. You'll be able to access it through My Gateway, hopefully very soon. And again, it's the equivalent of Blackboard. So you have our home page, and it has some information on the bottom. So my drop-in hours or office hours are here. We're going to have a supplemental instruction leader, Daisy. So she's going to, she's sat in my class multiple times. She's taken my class, and she leads a problem session where you guys just continue to practice and work problems. And it's nice because it's led by one of your peers. So I highly recommend going to supplemental instruction. We'll talk about that more on the first day. But as far as tabs, the most important ones are going to be modules. So if we click on modules, we have pretty much everything organized, but it's organized by the chapter we're going over. So we have our initial course info for the first week, but then it's organized by chapter. Here are the links to the TED Ed lessons that I was mentioning. So on scientific notation, accuracy and precision. Again, all of these are optional, but they're very, very useful. We have some math review, so review of how to use exponents and those type of things. We have some Khan Academy tutorials that are also video resources. For SI unit prefixes that we'll talk about a lot the first week. We have a little Quizlet app that you can pull up on your phone and test yourself. So lots of resources here that are organized by chapter. If we go under files, you can find a lot of the same documents, but they're organized according to like lab, lecture, problem sets, startup assignments. All of our exams, quizzes, practice exams, and things of that sort will be here. Any handouts, all here as well. And other than that, really the only other tab you need is grades. So I usually don't post anything until after the first exam, so you have a better idea of where you are. But once we have that exam, everything will be posted here. All right, so back to our syllabus, we have homework that's going to be online. Again, up at the top you have the link to Mastering Chemistry. You also have it here. And if we go back up, you have the ID, the course ID that you need to enter. This is worth 10% of your grade, but it's really the more practice you get, the better you get. I say practice makes better, not perfect, but we really want to work through as many problems as possible. These are problems from the textbook, so if you want, you can work problems through the textbook on a piece of paper and then go into Mastering Chemistry and do your homework. There are plenty of opportunities to get extra credit in here. You'll see, if you click on the assignment, you'll see next to it that some problems are worth credit and some are for extra credit or just practice. So if you're pressed for time, I know many of you are working either part-time or full-time, I would go through and do the problems that are for credit first, and then if you have time you go back and do the other problems, but I would work all of them if possible. For exams, we have 4 exams that are regular exams, and then we have 2 unit exams. One at the kind of middle of the semester, and then our other unit exam is at the end. You must pass your exams overall with a 65% average to pass the course. So those are really, really important. But you have topic sheet before each exam, you have a practice exam, so you have plenty of opportunities to see how I test and to prepare for it. Okay, we have the grading scale here, and we have tips for success. These are based on some things that I've found to be most important, and also people who have taken my course before. The number one thing that I put on here is attend office hours. So again, this is your time to ask questions about whatever you like. So I highly encourage you to do that. Even if it seems like it's something small, ask, because all the course material builds on itself. It's cumulative. So ask lots of questions, come to office hours. Down here, you must pass lab to pass lecture. Okay, so think about lab. It's worth 20% of your grade, so it can make a quite of a big difference in your grade. But you want to make sure you're turning in lab assignments and also following the specific guidelines that I give you, because it is a significant part of your grade. I would read through these on your own. Notice that I have here, bold and in another color, supplemental instruction. So again, these are going to be weekly sessions outside of our class that are led by one of your peers, and it goes through more problems. Again, Daisy has taken my course and sat through my course multiple times, so she knows the types of questions I ask. I also take some of the questions straight from supplemental instruction and put them on quizzes, so a very good incentive to go. Here I have our lecture schedule. So every single day we should have an idea of what we're doing. We have the chapter, the topic, and also what's due. So we have our startup assignments, we have our online homework. You'll see that some of these are in red. So the ones that are in red, once we get to our organic section, we're going to be drawing a lot more structures. So these ones, instead of online homework, you actually write it out on a sheet of paper and turn it in on those days. But I'll remind you once we get there. Tells you when your exams are, and you have some more information here just as reminders. Okay. We also have our lab schedule. Okay, so we have what we're going to be doing that day, what's due. So a lot of times we'll have pre-lab study questions, so you read through the lab, the background information, and complete some questions. It'll tell you what lab reports are due or exercises. So we have all that information here. Okay. We'll go over lab information in a lot more detail, but again, it's 20% of your grade. You have to pass lab with a 65% overall. If we look at the breakdown, we have 14 lab reports that we're going to turn in. The ones at the beginning are worth a little bit less, so that way you can get some feedback, and the ones towards the end of the semester are worth more points. We have 4 lab quizzes that are unannounced, and then a final lab quiz at the very end. Here's some more information about safety, but again, we will talk about that on the first day of class. On the last page, I want to bring your attention to some resources. So FC is great with resources. We have so many things available to you on campus. So I've listed many of them here on the left, but if you don't see something that you're looking for, ask me. Chances are we have it. I can get you in contact with someone who can help you. But again, ask when you need something, because chances are we have resources on campus available to you. I have a little bit about our classroom learning environment here that you can read. One thing I like to point out is my cell phone policy. Okay, so this is one thing I'm very strict with. I'm fine with you having your cell phone out on at your desk in front of you, because I realize some people need to have access to their phone. If you have kids or you need to have that phone available, that's fine. But if I see you actively on it, texting, surfing the net, doing something that's unrelated to what we're doing in class, I will ask you to leave. Okay? If you need to use your phone, just step out, no questions asked, use your phone, come back in, that's perfectly fine. And here I have a chemistry quick fact, so just something to think about as we come into the semester and start to think about the course, something that we're going to learn about in a lot more detail. So that's all. Think of any questions you have, and you can either save them for the first day, or you can email me or post them on our Facebook group. And yeah, that's about it. So I will see you very soon. Look forward to meeting you all.